Kevin here with Hope Mission, and I want to ask a question today. Who do you want to be when things in our country get difficult? Um, as you've probably heard on the news, I know I hear it every day when I bring my kids to school. Hear it on the radio, we see it on the news, all this uh, craziness about tariffs, about the economy, the downturn, the trade war. These kinds of things, they're decided by people with a much higher status in life than I have, but they impact people in need. They impact the people that we serve inevitably. We've seen it before here at the mission that when things get difficult in the economy, it hurts people in need the most. The people living on the edge, people already struggling. Businesses have to do layoffs or other things. People lose their jobs, and then that leads to people losing their homes. It leads to more people on the streets and more people coming to our doors. But here's the thing: at the mission, we've already been facing unprecedented levels of need. We've already had a winter where most of the winter we've had more than 1,000 people every single night at the shelter, and that's kind of wild. That hasn't happened in the history of Hope Mission before, that we've had that many people staying at Hope Mission. So when I think about this question, who do I want to be in the midst of this? It's kind of, first of all, I want to just say something. It's kind of scary right now with everything that's going on between Canada and the US. That scares me. I think about my kids, first of all. I don't know who you think about. I think about my family, and then I think about the people that come to the mission. I was talking with someone recently who had lost his job, and he's still able to be housed, but he said he wouldn't be able to make it without the food hampers that he gets from the mission, and that's a pretty precarious place to be in. But he is so grateful for the support, and I hope he's able to get a job soon. Another image that I just kind of have like stuck in my head is an image of a family right on the doorstep of the mission, all their suitcases in a circle, one kid sitting on top of the suitcases, another kid being held by their mother, a few other kids just standing there, and they had all their earthly belongings standing there by the mission, just about to come inside. They'd just been dropped off, and that picture kind of stays with the person, and it's people like that I think about as I'm thinking about everything that's happening in our country right now. But as the fear begins to well up a little bit inside of me, I also think about, who do I want to be? Maybe you think about, who do you want to be in times like this? I meet people all the time, our supporters, our donors, and they remind me of the stories I hear about the people who founded Hope Mission. Here's a story or a picture of the building of the original Hope Mission. On the back, I've got Reverend Harold and Hilly Edwardson. They're the founders of Hope Mission. Back in 1929, they faced some pretty scary times too. The stock market had just crashed. It was the beginning of the Great Depression. Now, remember, it's the beginning of it, not the end of it. It wasn't they don't look back on it with the perspective of history like we did. They were at the beginning of it. Everything that was yet to come, they had no idea. It was just everything was crashing and falling apart around them. And Harold and Hilly, they looked around. They didn't have the answers to, the big questions of, what is our nation going to do? What is all the other countries going to do? But they looked at the faces of the people on the streets, much like we do at the mission here every day. And their response was to start making soup. And that might seem like a small thing, because in the face of big problems, we want big solutions. But I think there's actually something really, really profound about that little thing, something really inspiring about simply meeting the needs that you can meet. Because in the face of everything we're facing, there's so much out of our control. We stop thinking about those things that we can't actually do. We stop thinking about the people that are hungry today. We stop thinking about all the people that we can help right in this moment. And I'm inspired by people like Harold and Hilly, who, you know, started feeding people. They didn't just give way to fear and hide away. They didn't just use it as an opportunity to create more outrage and create a following built around outrage or anything like that. They stood on faith, they stood on charity and on hope, and they started with a meal and started changing the lives of people for the better. And I think in the face of everything we're facing now with tariffs, that's who I want to be, and that's who I've seen in our city, in our province, in our nation. People that I meet, folks who don't know what's to come, but they tell me, you know what, I know that I can help someone today, and they do that. They help people today. They help people in our city right now, and I find that deeply inspiring. That there are people still living that same kind of generosity, that same kind of legacy that Harold and Hilly left, 96 years ago. And I don't know about you. I feel like that's something that inspired me today, as there's so much in the news that's, scary, so much in the news that's maybe gets us down. But as I think about the past and I think about even the present and the people that I know that remind me of the stories of Harold and Hilly, there's something to be learned there. There's something to be inspired by. And there's an example to follow into the future too, from the past, of this legacy of hope, this legacy of hope begins with the meal, which is something more than just words, something more than just a saying, because it's something that we have seen again and again here at the mission, that it's the beginning of something so much more. Even in my life growing up, the rule around our table is there's always room for one more. And my dad would often, find folks that were in need of a meal. Sometimes they'd have home, sometimes they wouldn't. And around the table is where there would be a tremendous amount of friendship and fellowship. And it's around the table that so much good can come. I've seen it countless times that hope begins with a meal. It's a powerful thing to share a meal with someone and to give a meal to someone. So in the face of everything that we're going through in our land, just remember there's something that you can do. You can help someone. You can do something that may seem small today, but leads to a much brighter tomorrow for someone else. As always, you can help someone today at hopemission.com. So if you ever wondered what tariffs have to do with the vulnerable and what you can do to help, it does impact people, and you can help people today. hopemission.com. Thanks so much for listening.